Hey folks, Passionate Paddler here. Guess what? Today is a TGIF day. Yes, thank goodness it's Friday. And I am super stoked, and the reason why is because I've got a canoe trip coming up. And so right now I just changed, I gotta go downstairs and I gotta get packing. So I'll share more information with you later on, but join me as I'm about to embark on my first spring canoe trip. All right. Okay folks, just down here in the basement, I'm just packing away here. Just wanted to share one little thing. My partner and I decided that we were just going to take our hammocks just to make it easy. But looking at the weather, it's going to get cold at nighttime. And I know it's only one night and it's actually maybe a little bit more work than it's worth. But I thought, why not? Our first day is actually not going to be as long as our second day. It's just because there's only one campsite on this river in the section that we're going, and the total length is going to be about 40 kilometers. So I think it's about a third of the way down. So we're probably only going to go maybe 15 kilometers or not even. So we'll get to camp fairly early and bring something else to make our lives a lot more comfortable, and that is this. It's the teepee hot tent, the Seek Outside teepee. Now I'm going to be taking that with the collapsible titanium wood stove, so we're gonna actually live in luxury for the night. So it'll be great. I think it'll be really handy because being on the river, you know, maybe some of you guys know, if you paddle Whitewater, even when the air temperature is warm, the water is going to be cold, and we're going to be splashing through a lot of big waves, and we will be wet, you know. And maybe we might dump, you never know, right? So the bottom line is, most likely we are going to be cold, and then by the evening time and at night time it's going to get really cold. So it'll be nice to have a place to really warm up in. Having this wood stove and being enclosed in a teepee, it'll be really, really nice. So definitely it's going to be worth bringing, even though it's going to be a little bit more work. So it's going to be pretty cold on the trip. It's going to drop down to almost freezing, so I'm going to make sure that the bag is pretty warm to keep me from freezing to death. So I'm taking a Eureka down sleeping bag. It's rated to -11, so I think I'll be plenty warm in the tent or in the teepee. Seeing that I'm taking barrels on this trip, just because we want to keep things as waterproof as possible. Things like sleeping bags, anything that's bulky, you want to get it down as small as possible. I think that is pretty small. Awesome. Okay, come on, admit it. You guys are all gear hoards just like me, right? So check this out. So this is just one of my gear rooms, and I'm just going to get something for the canoe in order to get it ready for today. So here's just a quick pan of what my room looks like, or one of my gear room looks like. We'll give you a tour later on when I get it cleaned up a little bit better. But yep, that's what I need right over there. See what that is? Airbags. I need to get that installed in the canoe before I head out tomorrow. Okay, just about to head outside to get the canoe ready. Come on out. So folks, here's the canoe that I'll be taking tomorrow. This is the Evergreen Starburst, and it's a really it's probably one of the best tripping whitewater canoes out there, and definitely it's got a great design, great rocker. It's good in big water, so that's what we're going to be taking, because the water is high and it's running fast, and there's going to be some big water to go through. So this is definitely the canoe that we'll be taking. So I'm going to get airbags installed and get it ready for our trip. So these airbags are triangular in shape, and so basically it just wedges itself in the bow and in the stern. And there's a what do you call a rope cage in there to keep the bag in from coming out if it ever dumps. So we'll shove it in there and get blowing. I certainly can't say this is the fun part because you got to blow a lot of air into these airbags, but hey, it's a necessary evil. There's no denying, man, when you're blowing like crazy, you get like totally lightheaded and dizzy. So I gotta get some oxygen and do it again. Okay, there's one airbag and there's two. We're done. Now we're gonna go put the canoe on the car. One of the little tips I could share with you is that, you know, we've got 4 straps, 2 that go across over the top of the canoe, and we've got one at the front end and one at the back end. Now the one thing I hate is that when these straps come out, prior we used to just put it in a container and they would all get tangled up. And so what we've done is put them in Ziploc bags, and now they'll never be tangled. So excellent little tip. That's my smart-ass wife coming to help me.
I don't get paid for this. I'm going to, renegotiate my contract. I didn't have my Wheaties this morning, okay?
This is always the fun part because Anita struggles with the canoe. So let's see if she can do it in one shot now that she's on film. Okay, ready?
No.
1,
Don't make me laugh.
1, 2, 3. Okay, hold on a second. She did it in one shot.
Is it on your side?
It's on now.
Okay, so you need to bring, oh, well, it's not on here. That's on here. How about you?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, straps. So normally when we go on trips, I've always used to put 4 straps on, the 2 cross ones and the one on either end. But you know what, even we've also got gunnel clips which hold the canoes firmly in place so it doesn't shift. So you know what, if it's a close trip like this one that I'm heading out on, it's only like 2 hours. So what I'll do is I'll just put one on the front and the 2 cross ones on top, and I won't even bother with the back. Now if I go on a long trip like the Rio Grande we did, when we're on the road for like 28 hours, then we'll put all the straps on, just because sometimes we encounter a lot of wind, and so that's when we use all 4 straps. But I've got 3 and we're good to go. So with the canoe in the car and my gear packed, I was now ready to set off the next morning. Probably about just an hour, just a little over an hour to Kinmount. I'm supposed to meet Laurelea, and we were supposed to have lunch there, but a local was telling me that there's really nothing there to eat, so I'm trying to figure out what we should do. turning out to be nice and sunny. It's still kind of cool. It's single digits. It's showing 8 Celsius right now. But it's supposed to be a high of, I think, 12 or 13 Celsius. So I could do with another 5 Celsius. Because there is some good wind too. So it'll be a pretty cool day to be paddling. We're at the local LCBO in Kinmount. We realized that we are lacking some beverages for the canoe trip.
Bear runner.
That sounds appropriate.
That should be appropriate.
Yeah. So we're gonna pick out a few and make sure that we're staying well hydrated on this trip. Okay, so we're in Gooderim. I've been saying it wrong. I'm saying Goderim or something like that. Anyhow, we're just at the bridge we were supposed to put in. So if you look over there, right behind me, right about there, there's a bridge. And we were supposed to park right by the bridge. But ironically enough, Laurelea apparently knows the owner of this house right here. And it was perfect. So we just drove in here, and he was in, and of course they had a nice long chat. They hadn't seen each other for a while, and yeah, he said we could stay here. And the Irondale backs onto his property, so it's perfect. So we're just gonna get dressed up now in our dry suits. We've got everything unloaded, and we're gonna take it to the river and start the trip. Our vehicle will be watched, and he even offered to shuttle us, but not that we need it. But man, good luck here. Anyhow, it's hot right now. It's actually beautiful right now. So I think we're going to be a little warm in the dry suits, but it's going to be absolutely necessary. Okay, can't wait to get on the river. Not long after, we finally got to put our paddles in the water for the first time in 2017.
Is the red light on?
It is. I think I'm recording you.
I don't see anything going.
No?
Oh yeah. 30 seconds, he's got 30 seconds, folks. We haven't sunk the ship yet.
We're on the Irondale.
I can just picture that, like your voice doing that in the background, like there's a rabbit. We're on the Irondale. He's like throughout the whole video.
Yeah.
We're on the Irondale.
There's a dock or something.
Woo! Big water, big water.
Is it?
Yeah. I have actually no idea. It looks fine.
Yeah. Well, we'll stick to the left shore. It looks like it kind of curls around. I don't think it's too much. Yeah, here's the portage sign right there. Yeah, let's just go. Just keep an eye out for rocks and just yell at me. It wasn't long before it was time to run our first rapid of the trip.
Oh man.
That was intense.
So intense. How did we even make that?
Look, the chairs. And a throw bag. I guess you're used to pulling people out of the river?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And a rope to jump in. There you go. Number one out of the gates. Woo! As you can see, we came upon our second rapid, which was bigger volume, but still nothing too challenging. So give me a draw. Once you, yeah. you go. Yep. Good. The Irondale also provided us an obstacle course, keeping us on our toes, much like the rapids. As you can tell, folks, Laurelea is taking out her frustrations.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're
Off the record.
Yeah.
She loves nature, really, she does.
Yeah.
TP out. Someone's got a nice little camp here.
To be honest, I have no idea. I know the wife was never.
Nice sandy bank. And then the sound of chainsaw. So yeah, that definitely looks like a, yeah.
Pretty nice little place though, eh?
Yep,
Beach and everything.
yep,
Look at the gooseneck right there.
yeah. Okay, so we've run 2 rapids, not too bad. And we're coming up on the 3rd one. And this one looks, it turns the corner, so we just want to check to make sure we're not coming upon any sweepers or any big ledges. So we're just kind of, I think there is a rough portage trail here. So we're just gonna make our way up and take a look. So we just came up to the top, and actually there is an ATV trail here. It's nice and wide. But if you look here, here's our first drop. Looks like we got a nice centered tongue here, right down there. Perfect. Can run right down there. Some nice standing waves. It looks like there's a log midway down there, so we're gonna see what that ledge looks like as it curls around and continues down. So I don't know what this rapid is called, but it's a long one, and there's some big doozy waves like this one here. That's a good like 2 to 3 feet, and the only good thing is that it ends beyond that, and it shallows and it just grinds out. So if we taking too much water here, we know that we can't go much further. But there is some make-do maneuvers further along the river. There's a lot of ledges, and they're basically have-to maneuvers, or otherwise the boat's going to fill in and the rest of the rapids are going to be very difficult to run. It's hard to get a perspective, but they're big.
It's not that bad. Go down the rest of it.
It's a gnarly set and long. So you don't want to mess up at the top, because every one you mess up, you're going to fill up a little bit more, and at the bottom it's the biggest wave. So this is going to take some good maneuvering. After some discussion, we decided to go for it. It was definitely a challenging run, but we were confident we could pull it off. Here we go. Yep. Nice. Okay, good. Yep. 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 We're good. Woo-hoo! Yeah!
Not like that. I think we knew what we were doing.
I think the only thing was at the end. Woo! Maybe not jump to conclusions. All right, we are full.
Yeah, I was looking at a little bit different where you
Go. Whoa. Let's go to the island there. I think we hit pretty much everything. It was just at the end. So what happened was in the middle, I got swung. Yeah. All right. Woo-hoo-hoo! Look at the water. We were stoked after that run, but there was no time to relax, as another one was soon upon us. Yeah, just so that we can see what's around the corner. Let's go right in here. Let's go right in here. There we go. Not bad, eh? So you want to go center, out to the left?
Yeah, I think even just dead center. Here on the left looks a little bit
More gnarly?
David, you go wherever your little prick desires.
Where it's gnarlier.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Okay. There we go. Yeah, you're looking.
I was looking at the portage sign. Oh, there's the portage.
You're looking right. I was like, there's a rock coming.
Oh, sorry. That's gonna be me on the mountain. Like, oh, look at that mountain.
You know what? I'm not worried because you're in Ben's boat.
Oh, did we already?
So we'll get over to the right side, see what's going on. Nothing.
1924.
One thing we noticed on this river was that there was a lot of remains of bridges, likely from the logging era. There's got a lot of bridges here, eh?
Probably with
Logging, maybe?
logging.
Yeah. So, Laurelea is a dirt bike rider. Is that what you call them?
Yes.
She's badass. And so basically we're just passing a bend in the river, and I'll show you here. You can see there's yellow tape markers over there. And you see over here, there's a pink arrow on that tree there. Whoops. I don't know if you can see right there. There's a pink sign there with an arrow. And then it continues down that way, and there's more arrows over that way. So basically, there must have been a event here where they're riding and doing, you said time trials?
Yeah, it can be a time trial section or an optional section.
Okay. So, of course, I see pink arrows and I just kind of paddle by it. Laurelea sees pink arrows and she's like, oh, let's check it out. So, we all get excited about different things, right? So, just thought I'd share that wonderful piece of news with you. Okay.
Oh, like the portage is flooded out anyway.
Yeah.
That's not the one you saw.
No. Couldn't be. So, I think we finally come to our first portage because judging by this narrow slot, it looks like it drops right down. And judging by the walls on either side, it's probably a good drop. So, fortunately, we might have to portage. Laurelea's gonna run it on her own. But we've got some furniture here and some nice trail maintenance here that might help us up this hill here. Someone obviously did some work here. So, time to haul some ass. Yeah, I think this is private property, judging by this. But you can tell, yeah, this is not runnable. A nice drop here, slot, and then a vertical drop beyond that. So thankfully somebody built this so that we can actually make our way and carry our gear to the end. Wow, what a drop down there. It's gorgeous. But without this, it would make life a lot more difficult. Okay, so we'll be portaging it. Oh, it's a ladder too. Wow. So this is going to be a little challenging with the canoe. Wow. Well, if we didn't have this ladder, I guess it would be worse. This would be at least easier with the packs, but with a canoe, we're going to have to lower it or something. Okay, so Laurelea's coming down, and thank goodness someone built this. Otherwise it'd be pretty gnarly trying to get our gear down. So it's a nice ladder.
Super nice.
We'll follow her, we'll get to see the rest of the trail here.
This is our little tiki man that basically says, "You're doing a good job. Keep going forward."
There you go. Someone left it here, obviously. Here's the rest of the trail. We got a patch of snow here. Look at that. And here's the falls that we're avoiding here. It's quite a drop. Lots of water. Certainly don't want to be going down that. And the drop keeps going down. A few more ladders. And that's it. All the way down to the end there. Now, we don't know. It looks like there's still some big white water over there. So what we're gonna do is drop our gear here. We're gonna take a little bit of a break, get some water. And we're going to scout further down before we commit to putting the boat in. And then we'll continue on down.
Yay!